Alright, guys, welcome back. As you can see, man, I'm patiently waiting to this game to download. If y'all guys were tapping into the community tab, I was saying that I was going to be playing this game this weekend. So hopefully I get some content out of the Texas Chainsaw game. But as we wait until this game download, we are going to react to the IGN review on Texas Chainsaw. So we're going to see what they're talking about and what they graded. Because normally when it comes out to games, IGN, I really don't watch it because sometimes they be unfair, man. They be unfair with these games, and then sometimes make me think like, should I buy it or should I not? So this time I was like, I'm going to buy this game because once I seen it on Twitter, I was like, yo, this gonna be nice. I love Dead by Daylight. Look, you can see I got Dead by Daylight, so I love Dead by Daylight. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Come on. All right, so let's go ahead and watch. Let's see what they're talking about.
Perhaps as an ode to the horror movie genre itself, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre starts out with all the same joy and promise of a group of friends preparing for a weekend at a cabin in the woods, before things quickly take a turn for the worse. While I definitely enjoyed plenty of my 20 hours with this novel take on the asymmetrical multiplayer genre, where 3 powerful murderers hunt down a team of 4 elusive teens, getting started wasn't as smooth as it is in similar games, and there's less to do than expected once you're up and running.
Right.
Between that and some seriously frustrating technical issues,
I think
there was
overall my
definitely
camera
a
got to be
chloroform doused wet blanket over the whole thing.
Alright. Let's see what we're talking about, my boy. Reviewed on PC.
If you've played any asymmetrical horror game, be that Dead by Daylight or
Right.
Friday the 13th,
Right.
Evil Dead, or Ghostbusters,
They got
Spirits
stamina,
Unleashed, among
health.
others, then you've already got a pretty
She
good
got a
idea how
screwdriver?
developer
Okay.
Gun Interactive's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre works.
Oh, so you was
It's similar to the point where it feels extremely familiar at first. Right
I ain't
down
saw
to
that
borrowed
chick.
ideas
Okay, they
like
got
quick time
another-
events
they got
and
another
minigames
killer.
to do things like turn on generators and pick locks, and hiding from baddies who can't be killed.
Oh, you ain't getting away. I'm keeping you.
But it also includes some important distinctions that help separate it from its peers. The biggest of which is that instead of a group of survivors running from one psychopath, there's a whole team of psychopaths working together to entrap.
That was the
and
main
eliminate
reason why I
the
wanted
high
to play it, 'cause it's
school-aged
different.
quarry. It's still lopsided
3v4.
at 3 killers versus 4 victims, but that adjustment has pretty substantial effects on the asymmetrical horror
Yeah.
recipe, since now both sides require
And then
communication
I hope
and
it's open
teamwork
mic,
to
man. It's
achieve
open
victory.
mic, bro.
I know
got to
I
talk to
always
my
feel
boys,
a
be like, hey,
little
we gonna go
guilty
here,
when
go
my
here, boom, boom, boom.
overpowered monster kills off a whole team all by myself.
Look,
but
they
here
trapped
I
him.
enjoy
They trapped
sharing
him.
the task with friends.
Got him.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre makes things a lot more balanced by making the family of killers only marginally more powerful than the teams they're hunting, as well as being slightly outnumbered by them. The bad guys are still unkillable and will absolutely wail on their targets in open conflict, but without all that raw
That's a
power
good question, guys.
concentrated
Do we
into
wanna
one
kill the
monster,
killers?
Cooperation is required.
Should
to
we have an
cooperate,
option to kill
no
them?
matter which team you're
Or at
playing
least
for.
hurt 'em
And that
real
makes things
bad.
a
I don't
lot
know.
more interesting.
I was thinking about that with Dead by Daylight too. Like, should have been an
Each
option of
member
us
the
to be able to kill
murder-loving
them.
family has modest but useful abilities, like Johnny's power to track footprints in a handy detective vision mode, or the hitchhiker's ability to place traps that leave survivors frozen in place. Victims, in turn, have some pretty substantial and interesting ways to fight back or speed along their escape, like how Leland can use his jock body and tiny brain to shoulder charge his pursuers, stunning them for a good while.
That
The
ain't bad
victims can
though.
also do cool things like sneak attack the psychopaths with a makeshift bone knife, or burst out of a hiding place to
Okay,
stun
I
them
mean,
for a time.
okay.
Or even grapple their attackers in a quick-time button-spamming contest to fend them off for a bit.
It's like you got the spam once you get on that hook.
Even with those good ideas working in its favor, though, a lot of wind is taken out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre by some pretty egregious technical issues that everyone I played with experienced every single match.
Okay, that's
The
just an
biggest
update.
one is that anytime a victim and a member of the family get into close proximity, and especially when they engage in combat with one another, the frame rate takes
drop.
a nosedive for everybody in the match.
That's
It's
a
not
slight update.
unplayable, but the most tense moments are frustrating to play since you might lose track of someone you're chasing due to massive frame hitching, or even if you do kill someone, you don't get to enjoy your victory to the fullest because even the kill animation is choppy. Beyond that, there's also mid-game disconnects that'll ruin your match,
Okay.
and some weird issues when trying to gather a party together. I even had one match where my character just became frozen in place indefinitely, forcing me to back out of the session with no option to rejoin.
During a game test,
It's
that right
always
there
hard
is
to
exactly
say how painful
what they
issues like
can
these
fix
will
on
be
before
in
the
the
game
days
come
and
up. If
weeks
the game,
after
if the
launch,
game's
but even
solid,
with the much smaller player pools during the review period, where I knew everybody was playing on good PCs with reliable connections, it was almost always an unstable experience.
that's just an update
And
that
that
they need
doesn't
to do.
seem like a good sign. The good news is that, even with rocky technical performance putting a damper on things, each match has a compelling back and forth. The family definitely has the more engaging set of objectives, since they're not only hunting the survivors, but setting traps and adding additional obstacles to the mix, like turning on generators that activate electrical barriers that then have to be turned off by the victims. But they also spend their time leveling up their patriarch, Grandpa, who drinks blood you collect from victims and find in the environment, and as he gains in power, it becomes increasingly easier to detect where the remaining survivors are in the process.
Right.
Naturally, setting the perfect trap for your prey and then slowly closing in for the kill is a thrill, especially when my traps forced someone to jump out of a window in desperation, killing themselves on my behalf. Moments like that allowed me to embrace my inner sadist and put a smile on my face. Victims, on the other hand, mostly rely on stealth to complete their pretty boring objectives, all of which are permutations of the same thing. Open a door somewhere so
Right.
you can leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's as easy as finding a few lockpicks and opening a couple doors to leave, especially if your pursuers are doing a bad job of herding you away from it.
Right.
But there are a few slightly more complicated options, like using one exit that opens on a timer when you fix a pressure valve, and another that opens up a tunnel exit when you solve a simple circuitry puzzle at a fuse box.
Okay.
Thankfully, despite the uncreative errands you have to complete to escape, it's still undoubtedly a good time cooperating with your fellow victims and narrowly avoiding detection, or better yet, making it out of the final exit by the skin of your teeth with all three murderers hot on your heels.
Right.
With
That-
such a
that
good
bit
baseline,
right there?
it's pretty
Hold up.
disappointing.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I heard he about to say disappointment. Hold up. I go back to on my take real quick. Hold on.
Pointing that there are only 3 maps and a single game mode to choose from, each with only the most minor of permutations from match to match. The gas station, the family house, and the slaughterhouse are all varied and well-designed maps in terms of layout,
Okay.
but they bizarrely all have the same set of 4 exits in the same general places for victims to escape through and family to guard. Once you've played a level once or twice, all the novelty of emerging from the basement to an unfamiliar area that you then need to escape is lost, and it's super weird that there isn't any special way for me to escape each one. You're telling me that both of these places all have exactly one pressure-released exit and one tunnel exit with a broken fuse box? That just feels like it was copied and pasted. It's also pretty odd that there's no real tutorial or single player with bots mode to be found, leaving little recourse for those learning the ropes or trying to sharpen their skills. The only way to learn the rules without playing is by watching an extensive library of extremely dry videos, only a couple of which even bother with voiceover explanations. Since most people probably won't have the stomach for that and will jump right into playing matches, you're likely to encounter lots of players who don't know what they're doing, which can be an extremely frustrating experience when they're on your team.
You learn as you
and
play.
they're not even that satisfying to kill.
Alright. Okay, before we see this verdict, man, have you ever played Dead by Daylight, my guy? Whoever doing this review? Dead by Daylight literally have 2 exits on each side of the map. And then the last person alive get a chance to get in the hatch. So you sitting here upset about this game because they got 4 exits that you can go to? And you talking about some vial and the fuse boxes mess up on all 3 of the maps. Bro, have you played Dead by Daylight? Dead by Daylight literally has 2 exits. What we got to do the exits? Fix the generators. Fix 4 generators. That's all you got to do with Dead by Daylight, and Dead by Daylight is a great game. So why you sitting here saying like, oh, it should have been more? More, it is more. It's 4 freaking exits that you can do. 4 exits. Dead by Daylight literally has 2. Man, bro, basing it off that, I already know he's going to give it a bad grade, bro.
I have little doubt that in a year or two, when they've added more scenarios and maps, fixed the most pressing technical issues, and maybe thought up a better way for new...
And then he talking about a year or two when they make different scenarios and fix the technical issues. Dude, they're going to fix the technical issues day one. If not day one, the first week of the game that already released, they're going to fix that. And then you say different scenarios, a year or two. A year or two? These guys is not going to take that long. They might not even take that long when it comes down to that. Like, come on, man. Dude, come on. Come on, dog. Come on, man. You really want to sound real good, huh? But it sounds to me that you haven't played Dead by Daylight at all, or Friday the 13th either. Because I think Friday the 13th, you either got the car and escape. I can't remember all you got. Friday the 13th, you either get the car or you call the cops. You wait till the cops come. 2 different things. 2 different things on Friday the 13th. Dead by Daylight, 2 exits. You get the hatch if you the last one on the map. Bro, and all you do is generators. 4. And you telling me Texas Chainsaw got 4 exits that you can possibly go to. You got 3 killers that you got to run away from, and you sitting here telling me like, hey man, this game is alright. I bet you what, let me see.
To learn how to play, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre will become a staple in my growing asymmetrical horror games library. For now, however, my recommendation comes with a lot of caveats. While the less lopsided take on the asymmetrical horror format definitely works, the shallow number of samey maps can get monotonous pretty quickly, and even with a fair number of playable characters and a solid progression system, I found myself way too comfortable with the 3 scenarios after just a few hours. Still, the potential behind this format and the reverence for the beloved horror classic it's based on is clear, even when it does feel a tad half-baked coming out of the gates.
A tad half-baked coming out the gates. Dude, you get 3 maps. You get... He said he found himself 2... Hold up, son. Let me finish. Let me finish this take, son. He said that you only get 3 maps and he felt comfortable, and after a while it was getting boring. I don't even think Dead by Daylight could have had 3 maps too. I can't remember when it first dropped how many maps it had. It might have had 2 maps, honestly. But there's no way this guy said that. To me, it feels like he haven't played Dead by Daylight. I'm gonna say, or Friday the 13th. Matter of fact, Friday the 13th only had 1 map. I would have at least gave it from the concept, because the only bad thing he was saying, the only bad thing he said was that he was lagging out, and it was the frames was going down. That's the only bad thing he really said, but that's a slight update. So really a 6, come on man, you just want that's terrible, bro. I would at least give it an 8. An 8, because that's a technical issue with the early game that you playing, bro. They sitting there saying like, okay, boom, we thought this gonna work. Y'all guys try it. Y'all lagging out. Y'all doing this. Y'all doing that. All right, boom. We're gonna do an update. We're gonna fix that. Come on, man. That's all. But the gameplay and then he also say it works. 3 versus 4 works. He hasn't played these games, guys. So guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, if y'all basing it on IGN about getting the game, don't listen to IGN. 6 not a bad grade, but the way he was trying to flip it, make it seem like it wasn't a good idea to buy the game. But he also tried to make them happy, so that's why he gave them a 6 and say it's okay. So that's all. That what it sounded like. The way the video was, he was trying to make it seem like, man, this is a terrible game. It's terrible. It's all in the same thing, bro. You get 4 exits. Day by Daylight, you literally got 2 exits. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, man. Listen, I already bought the game. If y'all want to base it on IGN, y'all go ahead and do that. But man, that's terrible, bro. That's terrible. I give it an 8 without not even playing it yet. I give it an 8, and I bet you're gonna be an 8.
Check out our reviews of Atlas Fallen and Exoprimal. And for everything else,
I don't want to
stick
hear
with IGN.
Stick with IGN. Let's see this, bro. What the comments say? They gave 5.9 score to Alien. What? 5.9? I swear. I'm about to even comment. I don't understand. DBD and Friday the 13 on had 2 exits. All right, I'm posting that, bro. But guys, man, hey, we will be having some Texas Chainsaw Massacre gameplay coming real soon. But put y'all gamer tags in the comments. Let me know what y'all guys think. Let me know what y'all guys graded yourselves. And then also check the community tab out, because I'm going to need y'all guys' help when it comes down to different concepts of different videos that I'm going to be doing, different games. I really want to do thumbnails, put thumbnails out and see which thumbnail y'all feeling and stuff like that. But I need y'all guys to be active in the community tab. But make sure y'all like this video. Also subscribe to the channel. And I'll see y'all guys in the next one. Peace.